Welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation. Yeah. Welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation. Kayak Bass Nation. Hey. Welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation. Welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation. Welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation, where we talk about fishing and competition. It's your boy Ox Pippin, aka Ox Fishing. Don't come over here tripping. Hey, hope you enjoy the show. Jeff Malott, Lunch Money Lambert, Lego. Hey, welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation. Kayak Bass Nation. Yeah. Welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation. Kayak Bass Nation. Hey. Welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation. Welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation. Welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation.
All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome to KBN Live. I am over here trying to get this thing shared around. When I opened Facebook to try to share it, Ryan, I got the most shocking sight. I've been playing some cornhole in some leagues and stuff and tournaments around here.
I've heard that.
Somebody stole the club trailer. It's like a giant enclosed trailer that carries all the cornhole stuff.
What?
There's like an alert saying somebody stole the trailer. I don't know what to say about it. It's insane. Look at this. I'll
That's
throw it
sad,
on the screen.
man. I'm so sad to hear that.
Look at that. Red alert. The Hill City Baggers trailer has been stolen. So,
Man.
Terrible.
Do y'all, is it a rough crowd in the cornhole gang? I mean, y'all got some shooters out there that can run it down or what?
Well, we're they're usually a bunch of yuppies up here in Northwest Arkansas, a bunch of
It's kind of what I thought.
Walmart execs and whatnot. I mean, I don't know. What
My
you're
boy
gonna do
was
with
from, that I hunted with this weekend was from Hot Springs.
Really? That's where I was at for years and years. What was his name?
Yeah. His name was Zach Ray.
Zach Ray. Don't know Zach Ray.
Yeah, he does Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu as my shoulder and neck learned. So
That's the feller that twisted you up in the video?
that is him. He turns out he knows what he's doing. Big burly man if you're looking to get gripped on.
Yeah. Good stuff, man. Appreciate everybody jumping in. We got comments coming from Facebook and YouTube already. Be sure and help us out as always and share the stream on Facebook. Just let us know where you're watching from on YouTube. And I always like to say, if we can, see if we can get as many people liking the stream on YouTube as they are watching it. All you gotta do is hit the little thumbs up button, and that's somehow supposed to help the almighty algorithm show our stream over there. I don't know.
I'm glad you keep up with that stuff because I am not. I don't have the mental capacity for that. I don't think.
We're trying to learn. And if you guys will notice, Ryan, look at this.
Oh gosh.
The office is complete.
I see that. I was going to comment on that. You look very professional and put together there.
Yeah, man. No more glaring light in my face and no more blank wall. So
is that a Western Sun stair step back there?
There's one Western Sun on there. There's a reel on there, and then there's an award on there. So.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. Ashley K Design on the office. She hooked me up.
I got you. All right.
Yeah.
Have you thought about LED strip lights at all going around?
I've got some, but I didn't know where to put them. I actually tried it with the lights off and the lights glaring black there, but I just liked it full on light, like professional office looking. So we'll see. Who knows how it'll develop, but here we go.
All right.
As you guys saw, we've got a great guest tonight. Jason Cassetty is with us. He's the new director for the USA Bassin Kayak Series presented by Jackson. I think I said that right. I think I got all the stuff in there. We'll let him give us the details, but he's here with us to talk about this new series. It's kind of a grassroots trail. I listened to his live stream with the Jackson folks last week and wanted to ask some more questions, so we got him here tonight. Another series for us all to chase. And they have they have a national championship involved with it. We'll get all the details of that here in a minute with Jason. But as always, talk about the news of the week and the week that was. I saw you posted today, Ryan, some big news regarding our friend of the show, Steve Fields, who's in the comments already. Yeah. That was a big move by Hobie. How about that? What do you know about the details on that?
I don't know any details on it other than it happened and it needed to. Hobie's been going through some changes. They've shuffled around some things on the sales side, the marketing side, like honestly, I think a lot of things have changed with the company, and that was kind of one of the things that, for what my opinion's worth on anything, when talking to Hobie Marketing, I was like, the people you need to hang on to are like Steve Fields and AJ specifically. Like, those are the ones that drive this relationship with the end consumer. Like, it's more than just buying a kayak, right? Like, it's a brand, it's a culture, it's a relationship. Like, you can't let that kind of stuff go. And I mean, obviously, after going to Hobie Worlds and seeing what Steve does when you turn him loose, I mean, it's insane. Like, they can't afford to lose that. I mean, point blank.
Yeah, and it's not just blowing smoke. Steve Fields, AJ, like you just mentioned, Steve's one of the best people in kayak fishing. One of my favorite people that I've met out there doing these tournaments and stuff. Just awesome guy, loves the sport, likes to try to grow the sport, but just one of the good ones. So glad to see him getting the credit he deserves and the promotion he deserves. So good stuff there. I wanted to bring up the fact that we are still in the midst of polling for the KBN Awards, which will be next week. So we were taking nominations. We're still taking nominations. That link is pinned on the group page. So you can go there to that Google form and put in your nominations. There are some wild ones so far. I'll let that open for another day or so, and then I will put another poll up for the finalists of each category. The next week we'll announce who wins. And I'm in the midst of getting all the data together for the rankings. I've got all the ranking, all the data in the spreadsheets. I've just got to crunch it down by next week, and we'll have the top 25 put together for next week. If you had to guess, Ryan, who would you have at the number one spot?
I would say the angler of all the years, Cody Milton.
Cody Milton.
I don't think there's too many other options on that one, to be honest with you.
I think every year there's been a curveball or so, and
I'm not saying. Listen, I know your Arkansas math is pretty much on par with your internet, so anyone could win it. But by my and Todd Miner's calculations, I think Cody Milton's got a pretty strong case.
I got you. Now, the one thing about my rankings, and I'll make this abundantly clear next week, so as people get angry, is there's no drops. This is an AOI race, so it's all your results that I can find from all these trails tabulated. So if you win and then you finished 146th, even if you won AOI, that may hurt your ranking because you get to drop that in the AOI race, but not in the KBN Power rankings. So be aware.
But this and to clarify, so people know. What is it? What's the minimum requirement for an event to be worth you even looking at? Let's put it that way.
It's got to have at least 50.
Okay. All right. Fair.
Unless it's a championship, which all the championships have at least 50. So there you go.
Perfect. All right.
If it's less than 50, it's a no-go. I tried to keep it higher than that, but you basically use one series. If you try to, you know what I mean? And we don't want to do that. So
gotcha.
50 or above, and it seemed to be a pretty good number the last 2 years. So 50 or above, that knocked out a lot of small trail series events, but there was a lot of trail series events that made it in that had, 90, 100, 110. So it'll be good. We'll see. We'll see when it comes down next week.
Like it.
Luke Arian said how to search for good memes on KBN page. All you got to do on the tabs at the top of the group page is a media tab, I think, where you can just look at all the photos. You can scroll through and see all the photos, and most of the photos on our page, fortunately, are memes. They're not actual fishing photos. So there you go. And then one more reminder before we get Jason in here. The link is still up for the gear, right? Swag.
The link is still live through the end of the month for the KBN gear. So order it if you want it. But I don't want to hear, I didn't, nobody told me. It's there. So you've had a month, get it ordered. We're going to move on. We got some hats coming. I posted that picture the other day. Got a lot of those patches, and we're going to do like 4 or 5. Probably Yupong, honestly. Richardson, I know it's great, but they're limited on availability of different blanks. So probably go with Yupong, like the Flex Fit snapback trucker hats.
Very cool. And those hats are sick, man. That design is nice. It's nice. So good stuff. Yeah. With that said, man, let's talk about our sponsors real quick, and then we'll get Jason in here. Of course, Dugout Bait and Tackle. You're rocking the hat and shirt yourself there, Ryan. They had the meet and greet. How'd that go? Any word from the street down there? How that went?
Yeah, I heard it was a very big business day at the Dugout Bait and Tackle. And they had, I guess it's hard to measure how many people actually came by for the meet and greet, but Christine said she had like 15 people, come up and want hugs and pictures. And autographs and whatnot. So I'm just going to go based off of her because I feel like they'd probably want to talk to her more than Marshall and Dylan. So
Dylan didn't sign any autographs from Marshall? Sign any babies?
I think Dylan. I don't think Dylan can. I don't think he's done an autograph before. So Marshall probably has, I'd say, but that's usually at honky tonks and whatnot.
It's signing. Never mind. I'm not going to do it. Yeah. So Dugout Bait and Tackle, and then of course ProGuide Lithium. Proud to be partnered with ProGuide Lithium at the end of 22, going into 23. Western Sun Vodka. You can see my bottle on the stair step back there. Ryan's got a nice koozie, but Western Sun, the more places I go, the more places I see it show up at liquor stores and different places. If you're looking for a bottle and can't find it, get on the Western Sun Distillery.com website, and there's a section called the Bottle Finder, and you can actually search where your closest establishment is that serves it. So there you go.
Get it?
Yeah, so there we go. That's our sponsors. We appreciate them. Let's get Jason in here and talk about another fantastic option for you anglers.
Let's do it.
Things ringing around. There we go. Hey, Jason Cassetty, what's up, my man?
Hey guys, what's going on?
And Jason is sniffing around. I saw his name in my calculations for the power rankings, and he was sniffing around him last year too, because he's a TOC he's a TOC qualifier last year. I think he was right on the outside looking in, like you were this year, Ryan. Right?
Yeah. Ryan was right behind me.
We're too classy for this shit, Jason. Let's be honest. All right, we need to start our own TOC. Me, you, and BDH.
There you go, man. Let's do it.
Does the USA Bassin have a TOC?
No, not as of yet. Not as
oh
of
boy,
now.
A COT. No.
Spoiler alert.
COT. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now they actually do on the boat side. They do have a tournament of champions, if you will. If you win AOI, accumulate like 1,000 points. But they've got 7,000 members on the boat side, so they're a little more established.
So let's talk about the big umbrella here, USA Bassin. Its affiliations, USA Bassin is what's tied in with this World Championship. Is that correct that we saw a few weeks ago? Is it associated at all with that? Is it associated with the Pan Am thing? Like what is happening here?
We are not of relation.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that was my first thought. I thought that's what it was tied into.
Yeah, USA, and it's a patriotic theme. It's easy to get those mixed up, I would think. I don't know where the whole how they choose the worlds or the Pan Am stuff. I know they sent some sticks down there to Mexico, though.
Yeah.
I would be happy to have that crew on my side any day of the week in a fishing war. But no, we're not affiliated at all with those guys. At this point, we have no connections to them at all. So USA Bassin is started out as a team bass boat trail right here in Indiana. A gentleman by the name of Kevin Urey started it up kind of, on his off days at the firehouse. He just started penciling things together, put some derbs together, and it really just blew up. And it, like I said, we're up to like 7,000 members on the boat side. I actually fished some, about 10 years ago when I was still fishing boat tournaments with my brother-in-law at the time, and they were a lot of fun. They do like fruit jar tournaments on the weeknights, and they do weekend tournaments, and you qualify for something big. So for the blue collar guy that doesn't want to travel, doesn't have a lot of vacation time to burn up, you can jackpot a tournament in your backyard pretty much and show up, bow up. You might qualify for something big and, bring home five-figure winnings or something.
Show up and bow up. I like
Show up and bow up.
I was having some side convos with Josh Evans, who's a Jackson team member, and he was trying to tell me, and he thought that it was affiliated. So that was one of the things I wanted to ask you right away. Is this going to be like some sort of farm system to get people on that team? But apparently not at all. I guess if they did well, they could be considered, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I would think once we get into the game and get a little more established, we want it to be a platform for that blue collar grassroots guy, to put a little spotlight on him. I think the sport is growing to the point where you've got the Hobies and the Bassmaster. You're getting some top tier stuff, but not everybody can fish it. Mm-hmm. They all might want to fish it, they just can't. Work life relationships happen. Just it sucks sometimes, but to have that grassroots in person, same day, same lake competition, where you get to hang out and talk a little trash at the boat ramp afterwards when you're handing out checks. I think that camaraderie is something that we all love and enjoy. And it's something that we need at the grassroots level. A lot of the guys that fish the national championship, the challenge guys, I would just listen to some of these guys talk that fish online tournaments, and their favorite part about the national championship for KBF was that camaraderie, that hanging out and talking with each other. And I'm like, man, you can like do that.
You can fish in real life.
Yeah. We can do that. And they're like, well, it's online. I'm like, we do we do them in person too. So not every state needs it, but I think a lot of states do. And there's definitely room to build a good solid foundation. So, we can take this thing to a higher level and have a good grassroots, crop of anglers, hopefully get some young anglers involved, more of the Jackstons and the minors, get those guys in the game, the Rubanuses.
We can get less minors in the game. I think that would be pretty solid. It's not really going well for the rest of us.
More minors, less money, but yeah, we just, to get that young group of anglers up so, they can keep the sport going, because eventually we're not going to be fishing anymore. You know what I mean? So we need to cultivate our future a little bit.
Yeah. So what's Jackson's affiliation with us? Are they the title sponsor, or what's okay? All right.
Yeah, it's just like that. It's just a title sponsorship. It's an open deal. You can fish out of Hobie or Old Town. Whatever you want. No P rows or any kind of little miniature skiff, bass boat looking stuff, but kayaks. You'll find
Boatworks.
What's that?
Blue Sky Boatworks.
Blue Sky Boatworks 360 and the Bayak if they're still out there.
The Bayak. Oh baby.
Yeah.
Oh baby. Okay.
Yeah. I think the Lego Corporation might have bought them up, but
Bayak.
you can, if it's listed like on the Hobie and the Bassmaster as far as the legal craft, you're going to be good to go. We're not rewriting the book here.
Okay.
There's been a lot of gray. That word has been used a lot lately, and all these awesome entities we have out in the kayak world have been doing a really good job cleaning that up. So we're just they're plowing the road, and we're driving our rear-wheel drive right behind them.
Nice. Let me ask you this, man, and we need to get into the nuts and bolts of how the trails are going to be set up and stuff, but obviously this is you said grassroots, it's going to start on the local level. There's a lot of states and a lot of areas that have a lot of local clubs already. Is this going to intertwine with these local clubs, or is this going to be its own freestanding group in each area that chooses to have one?
Yes. So we can, we can stack tournaments, right? So if a tournament director wants to have a, let's say Lake of the Ozarks, so you've got Moyak and the All-American guys out there, the pretty well-established area. Let's say there wants to be a tournament right there. If they want to do a double dip, like we're all familiar with on the Hobie stuff and the Bassmaster side, where the local club will team up with a national trail, they can do that. But our divisions are going to be a lot more localized. So it's going to be just on Lake of the Ozarks. So all 5 tournaments will be right there on Lake of the Ozarks. It'll be the Missouri Lake of the Ozarks division. And then, you can have Truman or Stockton and, on down the line, you can have all these, you can have, like on the boat side, Indiana has literally almost 50 divisions, and Indiana is not known for having a bunch of lakes. So you can have however many divisions you want. You can have a Thursday night on Lake of the Ozarks and then a Saturday on Lake of the Ozarks, and you could have a Saturday night, an overnight tournament division on the Ozarks. So they all work out. So each lake is its own division, or each lake can have 3 divisions based on the day or the time of day. So it can break down really kind of crazy when it gets there. But like I said, we're in the infancy stage. We're still in diapers. So it's not by state.
Obviously, just having the single tournaments is a goal of its own. But what, we've kind of referenced a championship. How do these divisions and qualifications move you toward a championship?
Yeah. So it's a, simple AOI. 100 points for first, 99, 98, and so on. If an angler gets 250 points this year or 2023, they'll qualify themselves point-wise to fish the championship, which will be held in mid-October. And we're going to do a minimum of 50 points. So if you fish a tournament and you don't, measure in a fish, you'll get 50 points. So worst case scenario, if you stank it up and you're just having a bad string of 5 tournaments, you could show up, pay your money, and potentially still have the opportunity to get out of your backyard and go fish a big tournament on a little bit bigger stage for a really nice prize package, and kind of get a little taste of what it's like to fish on a more national level. But you'll have to fish at least, you got to get 250 points. So once you hit that 250, you can qualify to fish the championship at the end of the year, the Jackson Classic, if you will.
Okay.
Any AOI for each division or overall AOI involved with all this?
We're working with each tournament director now as they pop up. I mean, literally about an hour before this podcast, I got 5 more divisions that we got signed up and worked on. So we're up to about 19 in a week and a half. So just getting tournament directors on board, it's been kind of crazy. But I would like to see each division, get a good sponsor relationship, a good sponsor portfolio, so we can package something together with some national sponsors to help celebrate an AOI with, either some cash or some prizes. That'd be ideal, but we're working on that.
I like it. I like the concept. I mean, how big of a headache is it going to be for you to keep track of, like, if it grows and it's a million different divisions? I guess each division is responsible for keeping track of its own points and AOI and whatnot, and then they just report that at the end of the year, like, here's my qualifiers and whatnot.
Yeah, and they'll report it as they go, and we're going to be set up with Tourney X. That's one thing that we wanted to establish, pretty quick, which platform we wanted to use. And I think Dwayne's got the best thing going right there. So we'll keep it simple. Everybody likes Tourney X, so that's what we use. And the results will get sent, to me, and we'll plug them in the little database, and the USA Bassin website will, keep tabs on. You'll have all your results, best 5 fish for each angler, AOI points, and it'll keep all that data right there after each tournament.
So
but
they're gonna link in the kayak stuff with their existing website then.
Yeah,
I'm showing right here. Okay,
right.
Yeah.
So you would like click on a tournament tab there, and you'll click on for the kayak thing's brand new, so it doesn't really have much built into it yet, but we'll be announcing those schedules starting next week and then rolling them out after that.
What do entry fees look like on this format?
Like $60 or $65 for the entry fees. We're working on a weeknight, like that jackpot type of tournament for the after work guy. And those will be pretty much half. So like $30 for those.
Gotcha.
So let me ask you this. Is there any sort of policing of minimum sizes of divisions that are formed, or there's a history in other organizations where a guy would just make a club and say, hey, I'm an ambassador series, and have like 3 dudes show up, win OY, get his championship qualification spot, and flex that he has 5 top 3s for the year, and there's only 3 people in all.
Sounds oddly familiar.
Yeah. Is there any sort of policing of that?
So oddly enough, yes.
Okay,
we want to prevent that. I mean, there's going to be some of that going on. I know some of these tournaments aren't going to be huge, but so you need to try to average at least 5 anglers per tournament your first year. Okay. And if you ride the struggle bus and you can't get 5 guys to show up to fish your derby, we're going to talk about it, and you're going to get put on probation. And that's after talking to, like, man, what can we do different to help you out? Are you Are you reaching out to your local tackle shops, or you talking to people? You hitting the book of faces? Are you doing anything to help promote and grow your tournament? And if they say, yes, I'm doing this, I'm doing this, I'm doing this, we don't want to just cut you off. We'll give you another shake the next year, but you will be on that probation, if you will. And if you can't get a 5-guy average, then, obviously it's just not meant to be, and we'll look in a different direction. But yeah, we want to do everything possible to help the directors be successful, because if they're successful, the industry as a whole is going to be a success. And we definitely don't want to end up with like 1 or 2 guys every year be like, man, I finished top 2 all year. I ain't finished out the money. Like,
well, depends if you pay top 10% or not.
Well, yeah.
Our old second place
Well, you
guy
pay
out of 2
more.
didn't get any dollars.
Right.
They just exchange money at the ramp and go fishing. They just give each other $30 and go fishing.
Here's your $1 back.
Call it splitsies.
Yeah. Jeff, are you seeing these questions in the?
Yeah, I'm hitting the stars,
comments?
man. I'm saving them for whenever
Just
you tell
making
me.
sure.
I'll throw them up there.
I don't want these guys feeling like they're ignored and quit the page.
You want me to throw some of them up now?
I don't want them to quit the page and then come back again next week.
Here we go. Let me throw this. James Dark.
James Darkey. He's worried about it from New Zealand in case he makes a trip over from USA Bassin here.
Yeah. So how big are the waterways that are being referred to? Sounds like they'll get hammered. Does it matter? Is there a acreage limit?
We haven't defined an acreage limit yet. We haven't ran into that issue yet. I mean, all the lakes that have been in question are well over 1,000 acres. So yeah, I mean,
and most of these have probably held kayak fishing tournaments previously, right? Like, I mean, people aren't trying to have them at like the city park or whatever.
Yeah. No, that, if we could get like, some of these homeowners associations, maybe they'd throw in some money. I don't know, but no, we're not doing anything like that. It's, again, we're not reinventing the wheel, but some of these spots are smaller lakes. Some of them are, 70,000 acres. So, but yeah, nothing like really tiny, small.
I would start a golf course trail where we only fish golf course ponds.
The POA championship.
Yeah,
those things could be super juicy, man.
I know. You're well. Hey, I'm copywriting that. Nobody jump on that.
The January challenge series is open, Ryan. You can get in on that if you want.
If you fish 40 days in whatever Polk County, Florida, or whatever it is, I could probably win something.
Yeah. We got people. Ethan Bretz is asking if y'all are coming to Kansas. If you want to form a deal, I guess, Ethan. Strip pits, have a strip pits division, man. That'd be legit.
Yeah.
You ever heard of that, Jason?
Yeah, I've had conversation today about Kansas and was told about a pretty large amount of strip pits. I don't know how many acres total it is, but
there's
I know
there's 1,000 ponds or lakes or whatever you want to call them within that.
That's what's up.
Range.
Really?
Yeah. There's
David
actually
Cruz
the All American
start fishing
series
again.
Yeah, the All American series is having a tournament there.
Yeah,
this year. Okay. You can just go to any of them, I think.
We've got something like that in Indiana. There's a couple like old coal mines, strip pits, and they got some doozies in them. And I think Siddiqui might have caught his PB out of a similar situation over there by Cincinnati.
Really?
While you brought up Siddiqui, I want to go ahead and say Siddiqui's dad had an accident. If you could keep him and his family in your thoughts and prayers, seriously, like that's a good reminder there.
I was going to ask you, is Indiana like Ohio where it has just more pay lakes than regular lakes? Like you can go all over southern Ohio and it's just pay lakes for catfish and random.
Oh yeah, we still got some pay lakes, where they line the bank and fish for them carp and catfish. They do little tournament, catfish pools, carp pools, and there are still quite a few of those. But if you're in Indiana or Ohio, is still trash. So it's not real good. It can be good in some little spots, but it's tough most places.
I threw this on the screen. Charlie Bond, an old friend of mine from right here in Northwest Arkansas, asking if we can do a river tournament. So has anyone formed a river division? Would that be a possibility, I guess?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they do it on the big boat side. We certainly do it on the kayak side. You just said, your limitations. It can't be a wild, wild west on western part of Tennessee and Kentucky. But yeah, we want to shrink it down a little bit. But yeah, as long as you have set boundaries, that would not be an issue at
Charlie
all.
Bond, there you go, man. Start the Elk River division. Everybody get their tetanus shot before the season starts.
So you are going to require boundaries.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. We're not going to fish from Nashville to Memphis. It ain't going to happen.
Okay, that's smart. I like that.
Let's see. We got some more questions here. 5 tournaments from anywhere or only the local? I'm trying to comprehend that.
So maybe
are they all supposed to be on one body of water? Is that how it's supposed to be, or can you choose it to be on different bodies of water?
Yeah, they want to be all on one body of water, or like let's say we'll throw one out there, Barkley and Kentucky Lake, or Cherokee Douglas, or you get some of these lakes that are like just super close to each other. As long as it's 20 miles apart, I mean, that's cool. That way you can mix it up a little bit so guys don't get just a worn out palate. They can see a little bit of different things, but still don't have to do that travel.
One thing I'm liking right away is, at first I'm like, what do you mean it's going to be on one lake? But that eliminates the stress of making a schedule. Like, I don't have to find 5 different lakes. I've just, this is the Beaver Lake series or the Lake Fork series or whatever.
Yeah.
It makes it simple, no questions asked. So,
yep. We like to make it simple.
Some people commented about memberships. What is the membership fee? And then some people said there maybe is a waiver for the membership the first year.
Yeah.
Is that right?
So membership fee for USA Bassin is $30. And what the owner and I, we got into a discussion about, if you haven't fished USA Bassin in the last 3 years, which unless you do the boat stuff, that's not even an issue. But if you're a first timer or haven't fished in 3 years, that membership fee is waived. That way you can try the USA Bassin product free of membership this year. So if you get into it and you like it, great. You know what I mean? We appreciate you trying it. You can try it before you buy it. We want to earn people's trust and show them that, we're not just here to take your membership money and take you for a little ride. So you're just paying the tournament fees just like you would a lot of places without the club dues, but you get the benefits of AOY points and qualifying for a championship. And we're going to do our best with Jackson Kayak and USA Bassin to help, spotlight these anglers that a lot of people hopefully haven't heard of.
Is there a cap on like divisions in an area or a state or whatever?
No. We don't have that issue yet. But the way the USA Bassin format is set up, as long as you don't have a USA Bassin tournament competing against another USA Bassin tournament on the same day, it should be good. Now, if you get enough tournaments in one area, like Indiana, for example, on the boat side, they've got so many different tournaments. They have a regional qualifier, and they have like a north and a south regional qualifier. So they split it up a little bit different like that to help people get into different championships.
So you may have multiple divisions that might fish the same body of water, but they're still separate far divisions. As AOY points and everything like that goes.
Correct. Gotcha. Yeah. You'll have a division AOY, and then you'll have a national AOY.
Okay. So
if you get a guy like, Lunch Money here, and he wants to stop off at Lake Monroe and, jackpot a tournament down there because he had a good finish at a KBF 10 years ago. He's like, I'm in the area. I'm going to fish.
This was all very accurate.
Yeah. I'm going to fish this little derby right here. It's $60, no problem. And then you fish another one in Jeff's backyard, and then you go fish one, on Nickajack or whatever. You might not win AOY in one division.
Yeah. But
you could end up winning the overall AOY nationally because you'll have cumulative points all over the place.
And how does that work? How does the national AOY work?
Is
it just your best X amount of finishes or whatever?
Yeah. And it the way USA Bassin does it, it's just total. It's,
okay.
So if you went crazy and you fished 20 tournaments and you got first place in all of them, you'd have 2,000
Oh,
AOI
wow.
points.
Okay.
You'd be a tough
All right.
cat to beat.
Gotcha. All right.
Daniel Moore's had a question sort of on that same note. 250 points from one club or multiple to qualify for the championship. So can you stack points from different clubs to make it, or different divisions? Let's use the right lingo here. Different divisions.
Different divisions, you can stack them up. So if you fish, 2 here and 3 here, that's fine. As long as you get 250, you're in the show.
Okay.
Is that
have you gotten this far as like entry fees and whatnot for the championship?
The championship, no. We do know that as far as money backing, it's going to be a guaranteed at least of $5,000 and a new Jackson NAR.
I like that you use like a real number, so that's great. Instead of
it's not guaranteed 78 grand no matter what.
with an asterisk.
No, we don't want to do that. And I mean that's something that we worked out in the beginning, because the guy that started this, he's not in the kayak space, right? Mm-hmm. So he's not used to PayPal or Stripe or paying money and the angler's not getting paid for a couple of days. He's like, man, you're going to have a riot. You need to have cash in hand.
That's the best part about the bass boat guys coming into this game is you actually get paid on the day, like you're ready to go then. Yeah,
it's pretty cool. So, I mean, it took a little bit of transition and some learning going on, but he's coming along pretty good. So
as Jason said, other people have plowed the road, and they're just following along. That's smart.
Yeah.
You're not trying to make those same mistakes over.
Yeah, and I've been fishing these things for a while, and it is a headache. I mean, I can sympathize already with what AJ and Steve-O are going through, and I'm like, oh my gosh, dude, there's no freaking way. This is insane. But fortunately, those guys have kind of fallen on the sword. Some people have opened their mouth and stuck their foot in it, and hopefully we can just go in there and be like, all right, let's improve on and learn from the mistakes that have been made. Let's build up a good, solid foundation for a good kayak series that we can work with everybody and just make it all fun and have a good time and provide something for everybody all over the country. So that way everybody's got something to fish, whether they want to be, a PKA, or they just want to, talk at the water cooler the next day, be like, yeah, I won that derby last night and I qualified for a championship.
Tell Jason's been around the cesspool a little bit. He knows the PKA slang.
Oh, yeah.
He knows what's up.
I'm on my 3rd pair of goggles, man. What are you talking about?
Hey, all right. Okay.
You going deep.
Yeah. So just to clarify here. So this it can be, but it doesn't have to be like a piggyback trail off of already existing or already planned club events or local events or whatever. Someone, if they wanted to, can start their own division of whatever, completely independent. This doesn't have to be affiliated with anything. But if you do have, like in our area, here on the Tennessee River, we have 5 or 6 clubs that fish. Some will fish together, like co-op events. Some will fish one-off events. If you wanted to put together a division here on the Tennessee River and just basically put out a schedule, if some of them overlap, that's great. If they don't, you can run it completely independent of everything else.
Yes, that is correct. Yeah. So, I mean, you got in Tennessee, you guys have the added, bonus of having some awesome clubs down there, man. Was it the Tin Cat?
Tin Cat, that's the Mullet and Thomason, Andrew Dotson, those guys up in Knoxville.
They got, super awesome club down there, man. They do some awesome tournaments, and we would like to have guys, work with those folks. And that's another benefit of kind of coming in on the back end. The plow has been paved and, moved out of the way, not just in terms of where you screwed up, but a lot of these schedules have already trickled in. Mm-hmm. So it gives us the opportunity to come in and kind of fill some holes. You know what I mean? Like that plow went through, but there's a pothole right there. USA Bass can come in and be like, drop a little crop dust in there and fill it in and keep on going. You know what I mean? So
is it the local division guys that ultimately are over the scheduling? Daniel Morris asked a question. Mm-hmm. are you guys going to work with long-term local legacy trails like we have in like Tennessee? We have like 14 trails in Cass. So is it going to be that local division guy that communicates with them and works out any conflicting dates or potentially partners on an event?
Yes. And that's something that, as they contact me and we talk, we want to be, we don't want to be the rub. You know what I mean? We want to be we're all in this together. Fishing guys from all walks of life. If you walked into, some crazy tattooed, big gauge, nut job looking dude, and then a homeless guy, but if we're all three fishing, we're going to probably have a conversation and we're all going to get along just fine. And I think that's what we've got in the kayak community, except for some reason, there's some people that are just like, oh, screw you, bud. I'm like, dude, we're all fishermen. We're all here doing the same thing.
That's only on the internet, Jason. Nobody does it in person except Jeremy Hughes.
We want to make sure that, the brand USA Bassin is not that Debbie Downer. We don't want to be that bad juju. We want to be one of the good guys, one of the cool kids. We're here just to make it a better place to go fish, man. We just want to go fish.
All right, I'm gonna rapid fire you some questions because I've been saving them and they're stacking up. Steve Fields, shotgun starts.
Man, there's a situation that we might have at least one tournament where, yes, it will be a shotgun start because the lake is relatively small. It's got one ramp. It's about 560 acre lake. It would be the smallest one if it goes. And yes, it might be like a Kelly Clarkson, like meow, meow, meow type of start, but shotgun could be frowned upon.
If I have any advice on a shotgun start, it's do it. That shit is fun.
Hey, I love
that. Was such a good.
You got me thinking of revamping the old Swepco series. For anyone from my area, the Swepco series kayak tournaments we used to have were all shotgun starts. We may do a little Swepco.
Dude, that was
division.
So much fun. Just the start. Like my legs were burned. I was pissed off after that, but the start of that day, every day, getting that hangover off was awesome.
All right, here's another one.
Yeah,
Motors, no motors.
Motors will be allowed, limited to one, just standard stuff. 3 HP gets you that new Newport, gets you a Torquedo, all tracks, whatever the kids are putting on there, you put it on there. 155 thrust, only one of them at a time.
All right. Where will the championship be held from YouTube? Daniel on YouTube. Has that been announced yet?
I can't disclose at this time, but we will probably say something by the New Year's Day.
Okay. All right.
It's centrally located.
A couple more from YouTube. So the local division directors gather their own sponsors. Did you hear that right?
Yes. And we will work with those division directors to help them out as much as possible. And whatever money they bring in or product, that's up to that tournament director. They can allocate those funds and products as they seem fit. They don't have to give it to USA Bassin unless that sponsor wants more of a national type of sponsorship affiliation with USA Bassin. And, we're going to have to get ours, you got to take a little cut, but whatever those guys get in those divisions, that's their money. They earned it. They get to use it all. We don't want any of it.
So here's the question of the hour from YouTube, Josh Massey. How's the entry fee breakdown? Where does the $60 go?
Where's it
wants
go?
To know where that money goes.
Yeah. So $10 is going to go to USA Bassin. All right. Now the tournament directors have the option, if they want, they can take $5 an angler for, running the tournament. What most of them have been doing, they're just, rolling that back into the payout. And then, so the rest of it goes to payout. So $50 of the 60 goes back to the anglers, and you can either split it up via, and $5 for Dwayne. Dwayne's got to get his 5. So sorry, 45 goes back to the anglers, and they can split a big bass pot off of that if they like. I kind of like the big bass deal, but we'll see how that works out, because you never know. You could have a really crummy day and just land on a big and make your money back anyway.
$3 goes to KBN for promotions.
Yeah.
We just negotiated that right before we went on the air. So
Yeah.
That just happened.
I sent a
That's,
DM to
surprise.
Chad Brock. I sent an email or
Mhm.
message and said, "Hey, man, we're getting you some views here." Let's see. Any benefit to established trails joining outside of the championship?
I don't. I mean, outside of maybe being able to fish some more tournaments, I don't. Not as of yet, no.
That's fair.
If you're an established trail, I mean, we can work with you, and I would hope the tournament directors would work with you. It's worked really good on a national scene for the smaller guy to help bring in more people.
I think having it tied to an already established bass boat side would probably be a benefit as far as going to municipalities and stuff, asking for host dollars and whatnot. And for tournament directors that haven't ran a bigger tournament or whatever, once you start approaching that, I would say 60 plus angler mark, you can start having those conversations. It doesn't have to be much, but you're going to bring in, especially if it's an overnight type deal or a bigger tournament, you're going to bring in anglers from outside. They're going to come in, spend money practicing for the tournament, spending money at tackle shops, gas stations, restaurants. So you can use that. If it's something they can actually Google and it's already established with, thousands of members, I think that really kind of bodes well to pave the way for you asking for money.
Exactly. And it already has. I mean, that's the nice thing about USA Bassin. It is a very large organization in the bass fishing industry. Like I said, with 7,000 members, their championship, turns out 200 plus anglers each and every year. So it's easy for these, cities and states to see how their return on investment would look like because they've already gotten it. And we're just a different piece of material, instead of fiberglass and aluminum, we're plastic. So, but the money that comes out of our wallets is exactly the same. It's
all spins the same.
It's all.
Another question on the finances, sort of. Are you guys providing event liability insurance under USA Bassin? If you're
yes,
division
again, and then that's part of that $10, man. That's a good majority of that $10 is, since they're not taking a membership fee. It's going to be kind of a break even for the white collar side of USA Bassin, if you will, because they're not getting that membership fee, which kind of helps out on the back end with admin fees and all that good stuff. But yeah, USA Bassin is covering insurance.
That's nice.
And is that only for USA Bassin events, or is that for, I guess what I'm asking is if some guy's running like multiple deals, like if they affiliate their club with USA Bassin, is that only covered, or is it only the specific USA Bassin division events that they hold?
It would probably cover the anglers fishing the USA Bassin piece.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, that would have to be that's a legal question.
Yeah, I know. Well, I know, like, some organizations tout that like affiliate program or, whatever they call it now, but that's supposedly an advantage is that liability insurance. And when you dig into that kind of stuff legally, would it actually hold up in court or keep you from getting sued? Very likely not, but for some reason it makes everybody feel better.
Where's KBN counsel Matt Zapala when we need him? He's usually in the comments.
I know. We need our KBN lawyer here.
He's our legal counsel. He's on retainer for a hat and a hoodie, I think, is a retainer for him.
Get some of those.
Yeah, keep those comments coming. Let's see another comment or question here, Nate. Any plans on other than Monroe? Is that a lake in Indiana, Jason?
Yes, Lake Monroe. I'm assuming it's one of the only ones I know. We've got another lake real close there, Patoka. That sounds like it's going to be on the books. And there's another lake a little bit further north on the Illinois, Indiana border that we're working with right now. So Indiana will have a few different options. But right now, I think Kansas is leading the way in options.
Really?
Jeff, do you have that graphic? Y'all put up a graphic, right, of what states you had affiliate program. Do you have that, Jeff?
Yeah, let me get that. Put me on the spot.
Yeah, current divisions that we're working.
It was on your
through.
Facebook page, I'm pretty sure. Yep,
Yeah.
that's it. That's it.
Yeah, see, I added them Christmas trees in the Rocky Mountains and everything. I mean,
There you
Look
go.
at you.
yeah,
I had to make sure there was no DMs on the screen before I shared it, right?
Hey, okay, okay.
yeah, gotta be careful what you screenshot sometimes. So, I mean, you can see in a very non-political. I did red and blue stripes there on the stage. So, I split it down the middle. I didn't want anybody to get offended. I had a shotgun behind me, but I went ahead.
Only the blues gonna get offended.
But yeah, you can see there's a lot of room, for growth there. So, but that's just a week and a half that we've hit these numbers, and stuff keeps pouring in. Illinois will definitely hit. We've got talks in with Ohio. I'd love to see something down there in Georgia, get an affiliate since Dugout is a fantastic Jackson kayak dealer. We would love to.
I think Steve-O needs one more trail to run myself, so I'm going to call him as soon as this is over, and we'll get you signed up.
He's not busy. He ain't got nothing going on.
All right, so here's a good question. How can they get more information? Josh Hawks is asking, who was just changing his oil last week and apparently survived the oil change into the car.
Good job,
listen
Josh.
to the show. Appreciate you, Josh. How can he get more information thinking about starting something in Kentucky? Him
That's
and Jay
really
Whalen
easy.
are going to start it up.
You can just join the USA Bassin Kayak Facebook page, or you can just find me on social media, Jason Cassetty Fishing. Just drop me a message, man, and I will get back to you ASAP. Give you a call, and we'll get it set up.
Or we'll publish Jameson Redding's personal phone number, and you can call him anytime with questions.
We got J Mac. I don't know if that's Joe McElroy over on YouTube. I don't know who that is. Where do we go to find divisions? Is there like a list or database where they can find what divisions in their area? Is that coming?
So the first of the year, we'll start posting up all these divisions that we have, dates and everything locked in, and that will be on the usabassin.com website. You'll just click the tournament tab up there at the top, and it'll roll down. You'll see the Jackson Kayak Trail. You'll click on that, and then it'll divide that up into states. You click on your state, and it'll take you to whatever lake or division is in that particular state. So it's pretty user-friendly. And then those guys will also be doing their, social media stuff as well, as far as Facebook and stuff like that. So you can keep track of it on a micro level or on a bigger national level if you'd like.
I like it.
Here's a question for all three of us. Ryan, do you see this one from Dave?
I didn't.
Why does the West Coast get the cold shoulder every year? Honest opinions. Just curious.
Well, Dave, it sounds like that this particular setup here, you can start your own division out there in California. It seems like there's a lot of division in California. Like, that's why people don't participate in some of the national trails that come out there. Y'all gonna have to get your heads out of your asses and start getting on the same page and make it good, man. Grow it big, grow it strong. So start that division and support USA Bassin. The door's wide open. That's my answer. Now to you, Jeff.
Well, if he's asking just in general, I think that it's just poor history of turnouts. When a national trail has gone out there, it has not gone well, so they've not gone back. And the logistics of getting out there is just, it's hard. It's far. It's a long ways to get all the way out to California with all the stuff it takes to require a tournament. Sure, an organization could send some big checks and some banners and say, hey, we had a tournament in California, but that's really not doing it the right way. So to host a real event with staff, boots on the ground, you have to show up, or they're not going to come back. And I think that's what's happened so far.
Yeah, and I would echo those thoughts exactly. I mean, logistics, it's very expensive to go out there. We all travel, quite a bit, 30 to 40,000 miles a year. And that's just, east of the Mississippi River for all intents and purposes. If you can imagine, headed out west, if you're, AJ and he's pulling his camper, his trailer and everything to head out west, not only is it expensive, but it's a lot of time to get out there. But with USA Bassin, that is something we can definitely do in that area. You can start up divisions. Now, the one caveat, the one stinker, I guess, to that is you're going to be trying to qualify for a championship that is going to be central to where we're at, Tennessee, Kentucky, somewhere in there. So it's going to be a long trip for you. But if there was enough participation, you could, have a regional type of deal out there, so you could still qualify, for a large championship. Could you call it a national championship? No, we're just going to call it the Jackson, Kayak Classic. And who's to say we couldn't have to? We could have
not to be confused with the very mislabeled Bassmaster Kayak Classic, of which doesn't exist. There is no Bassmaster Kayak Classic, people.
Yeah.
Everyone just posts it because they're going toward the classic. To fish.
Kayak Championship over there. The Jackson Classic is the classic.
And honestly, I'll say, like, I got a bunch of buddies in California, fished in-person events with lots of them. Several of them flew out to Seminole and fished with us. Caddo, Kentucky Lake. They travel really well. Californians travel really well. I think the biggest thing is getting everybody on the same page to support this out there as a local level. Grow it into something good, and then there will be that kind of prestige with it to want to travel to this national championship. That's the trick, though, is get that support locally.
Yeah. True that.
And here's Rich Biggie said, so compete on a local scale to gain entry to a championship, and that's it in a nutshell, right, Jason?
Yeah, that's it. You hit the nail on the head. It's the working man, the 9 to 5.
Rich gets smarter every day. I'll give him that. Yeah. Good job, Rich.
You work your butt off. A lot of guys get 2 weeks vacation, maybe 3 if you count that sick day, sick week. But that's allocated really, really thin when you get a wife and you get some kids and, you got a daughter playing volleyball all over the place, and it gets kind of crazy with your life. And you can't chase that dream of fishing, a national series. So vacation, you can't practice. What do? You fish that weeknight tournament, or you fish a little weekender around the corner from your house. You're fishing with your buddies. You're fishing familiar water. You don't have to spend a lot of gas money. So that keeps mama happy. You might not be away for as long as she might want you to be away for, but you get to hang out with your kids, you get to work a full-time job and qualify for something big without putting a huge time and, financial dedication to it.
What I like about it is you actually have to qualify for it.
You can't just submit one fish.
You didn't buy a sticker or fish an internet and you're qualified for a championship. So I like that.
No, you can't do that. Now it's like, we'll be honest. If you fish 5 tournaments, you do get that minimum if you pay your entry fee. So if you fished all 5 tournaments, you put in that time and that dedication and effort and went out there, you can still qualify, but you've got to fish at least 5 to have a shot at it.
So Jimmy Davis asked a question, and I hope there's a good answer to it. Jeff, will you throw that one up? Do you see that?
There it is. I'm with you.
All right. That's a solid question. There's a bunch of, everybody trying to qualify for some shit sitting at the house. You actually have to show up to a tournament. You have to catch a fish or be at, check in that morning or check out that afternoon or something to verify that somebody didn't just buy their points to get to the
Yes, you can't buy points. You got to show up. Now, if you show up and you don't want to fish and then you show up to the you just chilling at the boat ramp, sipping on some Western Sun and lemonade, that's fine. You can do that. But if you show up drunk,
or you can say you did that and you skunked all day. I didn't even leave the ramp, bro. I didn't skunk. I was here for the points.
You've got to eat crow when you show up to the award ceremony. It is what it is. You can't just. We want people to fish. It's the whole. If you're literally gonna just pay money just so you can go fish one championship event, there's other places you can do that and not have to fish and show up and fish a national championship. You can go do that.
Let me ask you this hypothetical. Let's say a guy's having a bad morning and gets a hankering for a Chick-fil-A sandwich and leaves about 10:30. Goes and eats lunch. May or may not come back to the lake. Does he still get his points?
10:30, that'd probably get you about 5 hours in. We could call, if you're really hungry, you could probably label that as a on the water emergency.
Okay. I'm asking for me. That's why I'm asking you.
Yeah. Well, if I'm helping that tournament, you just let me know. I'll sit in line for 45 minutes at Chick-fil-A. I'll get you I'll get you a chicken Sammy.
I got
Rich had another good question too. Rich is on fire tonight.
He's hitting.
Give him $3.
the one about bass here.
Yeah.
All right. So what's the difference from this? And I read these because we got a lot of people that listen on the audio podcast, and I don't want them to just feel left out if they don't know what the question is. So what's the difference from this or say bass and other series like it? We have bass in New York, but it doesn't get more than 12 anglers at a championship. Not sure if that's the TD's fault or not. Just a point. So what's the difference between this and bass?
Well, Bassmaster, like the Bass Nation.
He's talking about, I think he's talking about Bass Nation to clear that up specifically.
Yeah, so we actually looked at forming a Bass Nation deal here in Indiana, and we got some resistance from the local bass deal. And Bass Nation is essentially a club that, like USA Bassin, is also a club. You get Angler of the Year points, but they're more spread out. You got to do a little more travel. I plan on fishing some of the Tennessee Bass Nation down there with y'all, and it's relatively tight to the eastern part of Tennessee, so it's not a lot of travel.
Shit in the western part of Tennessee, so you can be good on that.
So I mean,
my boy Matt Skelton's out there in West Tennessee trying to do things, Ryan.
Skelton's out there. You're right.
Sorry,
so
ahead,
it is a club, and they're for the Tennessee Bass Nation or all the Bass Nations. They're qualifying people to send to the Bass Nation Championship in conjunction with the Bassmaster Classic. USA Bassin is just that. It's USA Bassin's division, and you're going to qualify for a Jackson Kayak Classic.
Yeah.
So I think
same but different. It's minor league compared to maybe a little bigger league as far as, the Bassmaster National stuff goes.
And this is a similar point to the California conversation, Rich. I think bias and politics play a much bigger role in both of those areas as far as, for some reason, a line of division on what people are going to support. If you don't get the anglers, your own buddies, to support this stuff, then it's never going to work. And for the Bass Nation stuff, it's a lot more dependent on who you have running that particular state's bass boat side. And I know Steve-O's got a lot more input on this kind of stuff now, as far as maybe trying to separate the two, like kayak and bass boat's a different entity, so there's not that roadblock, like Jason was saying, on the local, already established Bass Nation club side. There's a lot more freedom on starting the kayak side and supporting it, and kind of going more based off the way we've traditionally always ran kayak tournaments instead of reinventing the wheel on the bass boat tournament side.
Yeah, and I think having Steve in that position will definitely help out. Excuse me. And I talked to GL Compton, I believe is his name, over in South Carolina, a solid dude, and he wants nothing more but to see the Bass Nation succeed and grow. And I have no doubt in my mind that he'll definitely do that. Sorry, my dog's bumping into the deal here.
He's
GL seems to have the vision. He's not like, oh, it's always been this way. Like, that's from the conversations that I've heard, feedback from Steve on his disposition. Yeah. He's forward facing sonar. He's not. He ain't just stuck there like, on the old school paper print off.
Yeah, he gets it. He's 2D all the way, but he knows that forward facing is the wave of the future. You know what I mean? So he admits that he doesn't know the kayak stuff, but he wants to, and he knows that there's value in it. And he is. I think before too long, we'll definitely see some of that old stuff kind of get pushed out of the way, and the new genre will take over, and it'll be a good thing for every state. So if your state's struggling with the bass, don't give up on it. I'd still support it, stick with it.
We'll get a few more questions and we'll wrap this thing up here pretty soon. Josh Hawks asks if there's already USA Bassin bass boat events on a lake, does that mean there'll be kayak events automatically? I'm assuming no. Like they'd have
no, definitely not. But it does, like we talked about plowing the road, that makes that a lot easier. It's not a secret that a majority of the guys in the kayak space, especially nationally, came from bass boats. I mean, a good majority of us have a bass boat or used to have a bass boat. So that would help, transition a kayak series into some of those places. I was looking at the bass boat side the other night, and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, there's 60 to 70 members that fish this particular trail every single tournament. If half of those guys knew somebody that had a kayak or they had a kayak, I mean, what are the chances? I mean, I'd say it's pretty good that they know somebody or they have one, but it definitely won't be automatic. But it could be a good conversation starter.
Yeah, Rich threw something else in the comments. I don't know if he joined late or not, but he said wish it would succeed here, but all the lakes are 4 to 5 hours for them to travel to. Jason mentioned earlier this can be a one body of water division, 5 tournaments on one local small lake. It doesn't have to be a grand schedule with Champlain and Cayuga and all the different lakes on it.
Yeah, you
Start
don't
it up, Rich. Let's go.
You got all those lakes around there. Is Rich down in Florida?
No, he's Western New York.
Western New York. Oh, man. Yeah, it's gorgeous. There's got to be a bunch of big old juicy glacier lakes or something up there. Hell,
anybody can start one. There's no limit. Like, that's the thing is, like, everybody can't just be like, oh, nothing comes here. This is the door is wide open. Send him a message. Start a division. Boom.
Yeah, get with Bailey over there in Buffalo, man. Put something on PA, Lake Erie.
Rich just said he's in Southeast New York.
Well, get out of there. So.
Yeah. If you don't have a lake within 5 hours of your house, you got to go. You just got to move.
Boy.
Wade Carter asked if there's a club in Kentucky. There is on the map. It says there is one. There is a club in Kentucky, right, Jason?
Yep. Right. We're working with Adam Patron down there. Who I think he was up in New York for a while. So
he got smart and got the hell out too. Y'all gotta have some storm drains or something down there, Rich, that you can fish. I saw I did some of those like fishing in the city things. Do some of that. It doesn't, they'll approve it.
One last question. Speaking of storm drains, can you bank fish in this? Or do you have to be in your boat, Jason?
No, shit. Yeah. So that.
What if they're on bed and you have to go through a private marina to get to?
No. Nope.
Okay. All right.
We do a podcast over at Jackson called Dock Talk, not Dock Walk.
Okay.
So,
okay.
You gotta be in the boat. It's a kayak tournament.
That's what they say. That's what they
say.
Some people spend a lot more time outside the kayak than inside. That's
kind of the hard part is catching them in the kayak, right?
It's and keeping them little devils in there, man. I tell you what, it's something.
Oh, I'm gonna build a real high sidewall kayak. You're pretty much only gonna be able to land it through the front.
I've seen them, Josh. Hey, Top Golf did it right.
It's gonna be just like that.
I don't know if anyone
have a little
nominated.
glowing thing through the drive hole.
Yeah, I don't know if anyone nominated old boy that put up the retractable wall on KBN a few months ago, but that ought to be in the awards thing. The fence. I don't know if you guys saw that. Yeah. That was some wild stuff. Well, man, I'm impressed. I think you guys are going to do good with this. Anything else you want to add before we let you slide out of here tonight, Jason? I'm going to keep it too long.
Well, thanks for the opportunity to have me on. You're
a boy, man. You always come hang out at the meetups. You're always on the road. You're out there grinding. Appreciate the hard work, man, for real.
Yeah, Nicole and I and the dogs, we love traveling. We love to hit it up. We love that's our favorite part about it. We love meeting up with guys and hanging out at the dive bars, if you will. We like to go out to eat, have a beverage, and fish, obviously. So I appreciate the opportunity, the platform you guys provide. Get to help spread the word. USA Bassin, just go find it on the social medias, the Facebooks, go to usabassin.com. If you have any questions, hit me up, drop me a message, anything. I'm pretty responsive most times. If I don't get back to you, I certainly will. It's nothing personal. And Jackson Kayak, want to thank them and Ryan Coolers for sure for stepping up for our first year and helping provide some awesome prizes for everybody. So
I want to recap, and you correct me if I'm wrong here. I don't want to misspeak. Just to clear up any misconceptions that I may have had from just looking at, what we saw on social media. This is sponsored by Jackson Kayak. This isn't Jackson Kayak put on trail. They're a sponsor in this event. Correct. This is not affiliated with whatever that World Championship thing was or the Pan Am thing that they did. This is completely independent. It's an established organization that started in Indiana, a decade ago, and now it's grown into its own bass boat side trail. So this is completely independent, starting it brand new on the kayak side, clean slate. Anybody can run one.
Anybody can run one. We prefer, if you've got some non-sketchy criminal past or something like that, we don't want psychopaths out there running
non-sketchy.
Just
send me your rap sheet and I'll give it a thumbs up or thumbs down.
If we do a background check, but yeah, no, it's open to anybody.
Under $10,000, you can run a trail.
Yeah. If you're in Northeast Ohio and you recently found yourself not fishing walleye tournaments, don't apply. You need not apply.
I dig it, man.
Okay. It's open for everybody. You don't have to be in a Jackson. Jackson is a phenomenal sponsor, and they've stepped up big time. So we want to highlight those guys and all of our dealers across the country that, support and work with Jackson Kayak. We want to help those guys out as much as we can. So if you're in an area and you've got a good relationship with a dealer like Dugout Bait and Tackle in Marietta, and you want to put a derby on in your area, we'd love to hear from you. We'd love to highlight that dealer, highlight Jackson Kayak, and highlight you when you win.
There we go. Awesome, man. Appreciate you, Jason. Look forward to seeing what you guys are going to do in 23.
Appreciate you guys.
Take care, man.
There we go. Man, what a good interview that was. I like
impressed. Jason. I like Jason a lot. He's a good dude.
Yeah. It makes me think this is a better alternative to me. It's kind of the ease of the online tournaments where you don't have to travel far and all that kind of stuff without being a online tournament. Obviously, it's live. I mean,
anybody can put it on. I do like the fact that they are having a national championship with a guaranteed, a guaranteed solid purse. I like that because we have local club stuff, we have a state championship, whatever, but to have kind of a culmination, a bigger event at the end of the year makes it cool. And obviously, you're going to have entry fees, and who knows how many members this thing's going to end up. I'm sure 5,000 is the minimum. It's not like if they, can pay out more, they're not going to. So I think it's got some potential there. I like it.
Yeah, good stuff. We'll see if one pops up here in Arkansas. It got me thinking about our local hot lake, Ryan. I think it'd be a great little winter series on the hot lake, like 5 tournaments on the hot lake.
Easy, you can do that.
That'd be dope. But
you could do it all in a week: Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
I vowed to never run a tournament again, but we'll see. I might do it.
You're going.
Jason might have brought me out.
I'm gonna trick you into it.
Yeah. Good stuff, man. What a show. Appreciate everybody's questions. If you have more questions about the series, Jason mentioned their Facebook group. They have a USA Bassin Kayak Facebook group. Go over there, ask questions, and they'll hook you up with the answers, I'm sure. There's some more like payout questions and stuff after he jumped off. So
gotcha.
Don't forget the poll is still up to nominate people for the KBN Awards. We'll have the rankings next week. Everybody have a Merry Christmas, all right? Anything else you want to add before we get out of here?
No, I think that's it. Everybody be safe out there. Watch out for Rudolph.
There we go. All right, y'all.